Hello and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host Bryan. We're going to continue on with this week's theme of silly and fun kind of music with Moron Police. I think this is the second or third time we've had them on the channel. I recognize the name for some reason, but I can't place the sound. The name cracks me up every time. The song today is called Captain Awkward. And we have a cool animated music video to go along with it, so I'm on board with all of this. Let's dive in and see what the Moron Police are bringing for us today. Yep, I knew we were going to get rid of that filter right there. Just seemed like a perfect place for it. Very bright, upbeat sounds. Like a contemporary rock feeling. What is that verse? Yeah, dude, that is a catchy, upbeat guitar riff. What is this verse though? What is going on with that? Ooh, even that. The shift up. So this is like a variation on that vocal melody, right? Because of the that's in there. I hope they do it again. I want to double check that. Okay, let's go.
So high now from phantoms down below. You think you're helpless and alone, but I'll stay a while. But you feel frozen, your heart has turned to stone. As you ride the undertow, I see you home. And leave me to shadow of the free. We were leaving, but we started to see you. Take your heart and then you'll understand. And leave me to Father unto me. We were leaving, but we started.
Interesting bits of dissonance in the right guitar, despite the overall consonant sound here. I'm a huge fan of this art style, though. I love the low poly 3D models. Okay. Um, this song exists in three parts, and I'm really not sure how to how to interpret all of that together. Uh, okay. Well, let's just start from the top. It has a very happy, bright, positive, sort of contemporary rock sound with a lot of faster moving ideas that kind of bring in a prog sensibility to some of the phrasings and timings. In some ways, it reminds me of a band like Frost, the band with the asterisk after them, but they're not Froststar. In other ways, it reminds me of the way that J Rock tends to implement a bit of overdone positivity to their chord progressions. It fits somewhere in between, I think, both of those. And I really love it, right? That melody is infectious. Do 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 do. Like, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be stuck in my head for a while. I mean, it's not super common for me to be able to hum a melody after a single listen. In the like 1800 reactions we've done, I've probably only done that like 20 times, 30 times. I mean, it's got to be real catchy to pick it up after one time through a 5 minute song at that. We're not talking about me having a chance to hear this melody, a dozen times or something like that. That is just, it is such a good lick. It really is. And the chord progression that supports it, the fun drumming underneath it, um, and even that rhythmic switch up. We have the da 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 1 2 3 1 2 3, right? That changes the second time through. Where we have 1 2 3 4 1 2 3, and we have the speed up bursty part moving from the quarter notes to the eighth notes. I think a beat later than the first time through. So there is a little bit of that prog sensibility, right? Not necessarily going like full on Dream Theater bonkersness, but enough to change things up from repetition to repetition. I dig that. The guitar work, the bass work, the drum work, the atmosphere, all of it is really great here. And, the first 40 seconds or so of the song, I was like, all right, I'm in for a good time. This is just fantastic. There is another part to this opening, though. I'm going to touch on it later, but it isn't just bright and energetic. However, before we can get to that, the next thing we encounter is the verse. What's going on with this verse? Seriously, what is this? I don't know what he's singing about. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the rest of it. The delivery is ridiculous. It is so absurdly odd and esoteric. The rhythmic element is wild. Fortunately, the whole band is in on it, so it doesn't feel like it's odd in isolation. The whole band is being weird right here. A fun kind of weird, but strange. Uh, there's a part in it where he just kind of makes sounds. He like stops speaking words, it's just like do, and just like a little ditty, a little rhythmic phrase with his mouth. Here's the thing, right? I don't know how to interpret this other than some sort of Frank Zappa praise or inspiration, a little nod to Zappa. It feels like something he would have done, and I'd wager I've probably heard Frank do something like this in his lyrics already. I've listened to so much Frank Zappa, whole album, 5, 6 single song reactions. I've listened to a lot of Zappa. I've probably forgotten it, but if y'all told me, yo, actually, he did it in this song that you reacted to, I would not even question. I'd be like, yeah, that's probably right because this just feels so familiar. I don't know if Moron Police knows of Frank Zappa, but that's the only thing I can think of with that whole verse. It's awkward. It's kind of unwieldy. It's very obtuse rhythmically. I tried to count it out. I'm pretty sure it's 4/4, but it's so awkward that I mean, there's no backbeat to anything. You really have to suss out the pulse, the time signature on your own, and the tempo. It's I don't know, man. It's a wild part. And it's so ridiculous, so absurd. It just puts a smile on my face. And that's all I have to say on it. It's just it doesn't fit anything else. It feels awkward. It's disjointed. I don't know what to think of it because it honestly shouldn't be there, but I'm so glad it is because I love that part, as dumb as it is. I looked forward to it every time. It's just that's so good. But again, it doesn't really fit in the song. It's disruptive. It breaks the pacing up. It's not a great part of the track, but it is a great part in and of itself. So that's the best way I can explain it. We have the chorus, which kind of fits in with the intro. It has a similar-ish vibe, just less movement to it. Kind of taking that same positive energy harmonically and just putting chords under, a nice legato vocal style. Very different from that staccato delivery that we have in the verse. The third part of the song, though, is the bridge. The music video just kind of stops. The boat is in the middle of falling after trying to crest a large wave. The song stops, the music video stops, and then a very straightforward, heavy, underwatery kind of sound. Kind of melancholic, taking away a lot of that bright, orangey energy throughout the rest of the song and replacing it with this blueness. It's focused on lower pitches in general. The harmonic quality has shifted to something a bit heavier. Not necessarily melancholic, but sad, defeated, maybe. And it generally just moves slower thanks to a drop in tempo, but also a focus on holding out notes rather than that fast bounciness that we saw in the intro and the verse. This stands out in stark contrast to a lot of the rest of the song. Color wise, emotionally, rhythmically, everything. This is just, there's very little tie back to the rest of the song. This was another moment when I was sitting there wondering what this has to do with anything else. And when you realize that every part of the song is sort of disjointed from the rest, it just ends up working. Nothing fits, so everything fits kind of idea. I don't know. But I like this section. Again, in isolation, it's beautiful. It really is. The chordal movement, the melody on top of it, the way that the instruments play around with the vocals, and the way that we grow out of it. And I think this is something that really clicks with me. You see, this section does feel out of place, right? But it doesn't. There is something in the intro that I alluded to earlier. It isn't just bright and cheerful, it's kind of a mix. There's a negativity to it. I don't want to say a sorrow, but maybe a longing. Maybe a wistfulness. There's definitely a lot of energy, but it's not an exclusive amount of positivity. And so when we get to this point, yeah, it kind of comes out of the blue. Yeah, it's just kind of randomly thrown in there. But when I start to think about it, the song's always had this feeling in it, bubbling underneath, waiting to rise up and dominate. Here it does. This, in and of itself, is cool on its own. Yeah, we got some musical foreshadowing in here, but I think what really ties everything together is that we build out of this and we find our way back to that more optimistic, brighter chorus. I believe we bring the chorus vocals back first while still retaining this moodier bridge instrumentally, and then we begin to replace pieces of this until we have the original chorus with its more positive energy to it. So while this song can feel like it flips between two extremes, the extremes are always interlinked. That longing, that negativity, that feeling of defeat is always present alongside the brighter parts. Sometimes it's just less known. Sometimes it completely dominates the sound, but they're always there intermingling. I love that. It brings the song together in a way. The verse I still have no way of tying to anything else. It's its own little beast over there. But everything else, the intro, the chorus, the bridge, yeah. Yeah. From the very start they were interlinked. And it's wonderful to see how they can play around with the relationship between the darker and more positive emotions here, creating a variety of different sounds, whether it is the adventurous intro or the more muted chorus or the defeated bridge. They're all one part, multiple sides of the same coin. I guess coins only have two sides, but I hope you understand what I'm saying there. And for that, I really dig this. I do. It's if it wasn't for that bridge to open my eyes to that and see how everything clicked, I would have just wrote this off as a fun track. Great vibe, bonkers verse, and yeah, that's it. But no, thanks to that bridge, it's more cohesive, more artistic, and more thematically sound than I originally guessed. Let me dive into some lyrics on this, and then we're gonna wrap the video up. So the chorus and bridge lyrics don't really explore anything more linguistically cohesive than the verse did. I kind of have a inkling of an idea. That's how vague I am with this. I really don't understand what's going on. I get a general concept. The verse says, going to the movies, going to the mountains. I don't want to be la dut dut. Everyone knows it, and I don't care. If you go out, if you take that movie, man, I don't want to be de la dut dut. Everyone knows it. I don't care. I don't get this part at all. But then we get to the chorus. It says, leave me to shadow up the free. Now, shadow can be a verb, but the way I understand it to be a verb doesn't really apply here. I don't know how you would shadow up the free. To walk behind those who are free. It says we were leaving, but we started to see. You take your heart and then you'll understand. And leave me to father unto me. So allow me to parent myself, allow me to lead myself. We were leaving, but you started to see. You take your heart and then you'll understand. I don't... Someone help, please. We go back to that very same verse, nothing changes there. Go back to the very same chorus, nothing changes there. The bridge says, so hide now from phantoms down below. You think you're helpless and alone, but I'll stay a while. You feel frozen. Your heart has turned to stone. As you ride the undertow, I'll see you home. Now see, this part I get. Hiding from phantoms down below could just be something that scares you, something that can control you, that resides beneath the surface, something most people don't see but you know is there. And so you hide from there. You hide from them. And he's like, look, you're not alone. I'll be here for you. Right? And even when you feel like the worst has happened, when you feel frozen, I'll see you home. I'll make sure you get to where you need to be. Right? I'm there for you in your lowest points. That's what I read there. Bringing that back to the verse and the chorus, I don't see how that works. I've read it over twice now. There's not a lot of lyrics here, maybe 12 unique lines tops. Not very dense. You know, it's not like I've got to read a whole chapter of a novel. It goes by quick. I've read this multiple times. I don't know how to bring that core of the bridge into going to the movies in the mountains and fathering onto myself and taking your heart to understand. I don't know, man. I don't know. The use of the English language here is interesting. It's unusual, and it's kind of losing me. So these are my thoughts. Moron Police's Captain Awkward. What did you think of this? Do you have interpretations of these lyrics? Please let me know. I'm curious what anybody else gets out of them. I really want to understand the music a little bit more. My best relationship is with the music video, which I feel there are a few parallels with what I've read in the music, with what I saw in the video, but bringing it to the lyrics, I'm totally lost. And none of this seemed to have to do with cleaning up oil drillers in your local waters. So, I don't know. Y'all can help me with that one. But if you have any other thoughts, opinions, perspectives on this, let me know that too. Put it down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this track. Above that, in the description box, you'll find a link for Linktree. Takes you here. You can find links to my music, ways to support the channel, a link to the Discord server, and so much more. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. You'll find those right under the video. I appreciate all three of them. That wraps it up for today. I'll be back tomorrow, though, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. UTC, as usual. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.